$4.45. Superfecta, $2,089.80, $208.98 for a dime. High Five did not get hit. That's a serious carryover. Almost $15,000 carries over to an 11-horse field, the WL McKnight on turf. Up next, Daily Double $83, Pick 3 $79.30. Time for the late Pick 3. Time for the WL McKnight. It's next in 23 minutes. And ladies and gentlemen, we go now to the winner's circle. Acacia Courtney standing by with the winning trainer, John Kimmel.
Pete, thank you, John. Pacific Gale finally back to the winner's circle. She's been right at the top of the game, always keeping good company. What does it mean to see her get the win today?
I mean, it's a really emotional time, actually. Mr. Morton, he's my primary owner, passed away last month, and, they just love this filly, and Toby is now taken over, and we've kind of talked about this filly, and she was kind of earmarked to go to Not This Time, and I told her this filly is training better than I've ever seen her train up at Palmettos. The whole staff, Jennifer Wolf's been getting on this filly, and she's dappled out. She just has come to herself, and I was very optimistic about her today. And even though she's over for the last 2 years, and just to see her fire today like you've never seen her fire was, that's just tremendous accomplishment for, a filly that's been 9 times bridesmaid or third against some top quality horses. So to see her get her due diligence here today is just really, really special.
And I hadn't known that Mike had passed away until you said coming into the winner's circle here. I'm sure he's looking down very proud of what she did today.
Oh, I'm sure he's looking down. I hope he had a big bet because, he loves to bet on his horses, and, it's a very generous price she has on the board. And my congratulations to Toby, and I know it's a difficult time, but hopefully this filly can put a smile on her face.
She put one on mine too, John,
too.
And an emotional interview. Congratulations to see Pacific Gale back to the winner's circle.
Okay, thanks, Acacia.
Hi guys, I'm jockey Tyler Gaffleone coming to you from the always sunny, beautiful Gulfstream Park, home of the Pegasus World Cup. I'm going to show you guys what it's like to take a spin around this course. Here we go.
All right guys, Tyler Gaffleone, me and Calibrator are going to take you around Gulfstream Park. Breaking off here at the half-mile pole. Gulfstream Park is a very speed-bearing track, so usually you need to be forwardly placed. Right here, we're approaching the 5/16 pole. Usually you want to start getting into position. It's a shorter stretch, so you don't want to leave yourself too much work. Passing the quarter pole here. As you can see, it's a very short stretch, so you want to be in contention. Right now, we're going to make a switch leads. Just let him go to the wire on his own. And here we go, passing the first wire. And this is the finish line. And that's what it's like to ride Gulfstream Park. See you guys Saturday for the Pegasus World Cup.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure you check out all the social media channels and check us out on NBC. We'll see you Saturday for the Pegasus World Cup.
Well, it comes down to this. We're into double digits here at Gulfstream Race 10. Another 3-turn, 12-furlong journey. Following that blue ticker there, Ronnie made a lap and change around this turf course as we follow an upset and a great call by Acacia Courtney. She said, look, you don't want the Sugar Swirl fillies. I don't fully trust this is my time. And she said that was a good spot for Pacific Gal to maybe get back into the winner's circle, and that's what happened.
Yeah, that took a long time, but a nice ride, perfectly timed, and got a good price. So congratulations to the connections and Acacia. I know she put a couple of bucks on it.
Good. I'm happy to hear that. We're up in class again. We're getting fairly late in the program. This is the last non-Pegasus race on the card this afternoon. You know, and it's funny, a horse that would have been in the neighborhood of 10-1 or so, and the Pegasus opted to run here at 1.5 miles instead, and that is obviously the rail posted number 1, Doswell, who was really good in the Fort Lauderdale. Good ride last time out from Junior Alvarado. And Junior, how about this horse going forward for Barclay Tagg?
Yeah, Acacia, he did run very well. This is a little longer race, you know. I already looked at the race, you know. It doesn't really look much of a pace in there, you know. You know, we'll see. You know, we got a good draw on the inside. We'll break out of there, and you know, whatever he puts me, you know, we'll take it from there. You know, I think he should definitely keep improving. Like I said last time, you know, it was a little bit of rough trip turning from home, and you know, he's still giving a great effort. So hopefully this time, you know, we should be able to get it done.
And he does have some natural speed. It's almost counterintuitive in a 1.5 mile race. So it is a benefit to be kind of forward and be able to get position, right?
Yes, definitely. You know, this track, you know, carry a lot of speed here. So, you know, stretching a little more, you know, I think, you know, he'll, like I said, he will put me there, you know, if I'm not in the lead. You know, he was very kind last time behind horses. So, you know, whatever he wants to do, getting out of there, you know, I'll go with him.
And there you have Junior Alvarado riding the 1, Doswell, who in terms of or putting, Ronnie, a big emphasis on a last-out effort, I mean, he's just simply the horse to beat.
Yeah, I mean, just that performance last time out, and as Junior said, he's got that tactical ability to use the inside post to its advantage, so Doswell's certainly up there at 5-2, but there's some hard-knocking old campaigners in this field.
Definitely. I mean, I want your thoughts, and you can take us through the post-parade, my friend, both with the 5 Sadler's Joy and your top pick, the 11 Channel Cat, who have both danced a lot of dances.
Well, Sadler's Joy is kicking off his 8-year-old campaign after facing the toughest marathon turf horses during his really little bit of a frustrating 2020 campaign. Son of Kitten Joyce, he was disqualified in the Bowling Green, ran at the Channel Maker in back-to-back grade 1s and got parked wide in the grade 3 Red Smith. Maybe today with a little racing luck, he gets the job done at the first start of his 8-year-old campaign.
Now the 11 Channel Cat goes from the outside. We'll see what the Maker horse does that I like off a tough trip, tie to the sea, the 7 in the Fort Lauderdale. And here's the field with Pete, race 10.
That's the call to post for this afternoon's 10th race, the first leg of the 50-cent late pick 3. Race number 10 is the 53rd running of the Grade 3 WL McKnight. 1.5 miles on the turf for $150,000 in guaranteed purse money. Here's the field. Number 1 is Joseph Allen's Doswell. Trained by Barkley Tag, the jockey is Junior Alvarado. Number 2 is Tintoretto, owned by John O'Connor and trained by Tom Albertrani. In the irons, Paco Lopez. Number 3, Miriñaque, owned by Parque Patricio's Racing Stable and trained by Maria Munoz. The rider is Edgard Zayas. Number 4 is Temple, owned by Paradise Farms Corporation and trained by Mike Maker, ridden by Irad Ortiz Jr. Number 5, the venerable Sadler's Joy, trained by Tom Albertrani for Woods Lane Farm. The jockey is Jose Ortiz. Number 6, Sir Sahib, owned by Stronach Stable and trained by Jose Corrales. The rider today is Luis Saez. Number 7 is 3 Diamond Farms, Tide of the Sea, trained by Mike Maker, handled by Tyler Gaffleone. Number 8 is Sir Anthony. Sir Anthony is owned by Richard Otto Stables and trained by Anthony Mitchell. In the irons, Julian Laparoux. Number 9, Succeed and Surpass, owned by Little Red Feather Racing Stable, my apologies, and Mataket Stable, trained by Graham Motion, ridden today by John Velasquez. Number 10 is the Cheyenne Stables Clear Vision, trained by Jeremiah O'Dwyer and ridden by Robbie Alvarado. Rounding out the field is Calumet Farms Channel Cat, trained by Jack Sisterson, ridden by Corey Lannery. That's the field of 11 to go 1.5 miles on turf for $150,000 in guaranteed purse money. It starts the All Stakes late pick 3. The WL McKnight is 6 minutes away. And ladies and gentlemen, we head now trackside for the Best Turned Out Horse Award winner for this year's McKnight. It goes to Barkley Tag trained Doswell and his groom, Benjamin Franco. Congratulations to Benjamin Franco, and our thanks to Centennial Farms and the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance.
One of my favorite races on the Gulfstream Park calendar, the WL McKnight, 1.5 miles on turf. I love handicapping these marathon races, betting them, and I am going with the favorite, though, to be honest, I didn't really expect him to be the favorite, but Doswell was invited to the Pegasus World Cup turf, instead opting to run here, and I like him running a longer distance. He's got a lot of size to him. He looks like a horse that can just run forever, and my hat goes off to Barkley Tag and his assistant partner, Robin Smullen, who have really just done a sensational job with this horse, coming back to win the first race on the card, on the Travers undercard back in August as well. Won his last 2 showing speed, and then last time out with a little bit of a troubled trip, coming from a bit off of it, and there was a very hot pace in that race in the Fort Lauderdale with Halliday and Factor. This in the race, setting a hot pace, and it was a smart move by Junior Alvarado. I heard him say a source rated kindly for him coming from off of it, but he has some natural speed, which I actually do like going these marathon distances. I had noticed last time, too, that he looked the most professional, the most calm, composed that I had seen him since coming off the layoff. He's a very difficult horse. I know Barkley's saying Robin was the only one that could ride him in the mornings, the only one that could handle him, and clearly they brought him along in the right way. Did have cotton in his ears once again today, but as the Best Turned Out award does say. Beautiful coat on him, looks healthy, looks hydrated, great muscle. He's really come along nicely coming back here in the end of 2020 to the beginning of 2021. I think this is a great spot for him, and I like him quite a bit. But that said, how can you not be a huge fan of the 5 Sadler's Joy? I remember seeing him in his graded stakes debut in this very race back in 2017, where he finished second behind Taglib. And I remember liking him kind of as a new shooter that day. Now he's well established in these marathon turf races. I will say he's been a victim of some soft paces, some softer turf. He does like to come from very far off of it. Jose Ortiz is going to be aboard him today, and he was beaten last time in the Red Smith behind North Dakota, who we will see in the Pegasus Turf Channel Maker in his last couple, who has speed and is a finalist for a champion turf male as far as the Eclipse Awards next week do go. But this horse, he runs this race every time. I think he was a little bit flat last time, but I think that he has a world of talent, and I'm hoping he's one that will come running late. He has run very well on this turf course here at Gulfstream. We'll have to close and try to come from off of it. The number 11, Channel Cat to the outside. He's another one that has run here at Gulfstream very well. I think he's going to be better second off the bench, and I think he's going to be better going a longer distance today. The 1 1/8 last time was just too short for him. He wants to go a bit longer, and he actually, I think, does better when he's kind of up in that first flight. That's where he won both the Bold Eagle Derby going 1.5 miles at Laurel and upset the Bowling Green, wiring the field back at Saratoga in 2019. Last time, again, hot pace, but he was off of a big layoff. He looks more fit today. He's definitely very sharp out there, too, which is unusual for him. So from an outside post, I wouldn't be surprised to see him maybe up on the pace a little bit more as well. The 7, Tide of the Sea, though, I think he'll be your main pace setter in here. As, again, bit rank, tough coming out of that Fort Lauderdale. Given his size, I think he wants longer, and I think he was taken out of his comfort zone last time out as far as his running style does go. Tyler Gaffalione won on him in an allowance race, 2 back, going 1.5 miles at Keeneland. He's back aboard today, and I think he suits him well. Of course, it's been a great day so far for Tyler Gaffalione. 5-2 right now, though, on the number 1, Doswell, trying to get back to the winner's circle and get the first graded stakes win of his career. Just a couple minutes away from the 1.5 miles, McKnight.
The horses are approaching the starting gate. 1 minute to the WL McKnight. And the horses have reached the starting gate. It's post time for the 2021 WL McKnight. A mile and a half over a firm turf course with a field of 11. First into line is the lukewarm choice Doswell, favored over the 5 Sadler's Joy. There's been money for the 7 Tide of the Sea, down to 4-1. Tyler Gaffleone has had the hot hand today. He has the call for trainer Mike Maker. Temple's moving forward. Here's Succeed and Surpass in the colors of Little Red Feather Racing Stable. Remember those colors a few years ago with Singletary winning the Breeders' Cup Mile. Drawn the outside, Channel Cat will complete the line. Channel Cat and Corey Lannery going up. And in. All set. And they're off in the McKnight. It was a clean and level beginning. Soon after the start, Succeed and Surpass went to put a neck in front, headed off now by Tide of the Sea, who's on to take over. Doswell is tugging early. He's down at the rail and into a joint second. Temple's an early fourth, followed fifth inside by Miriñaque. Out 3 wide goes Channel Cat. Next at the rail and Tintoretto. Deep on the course goes Clear Vision. From between, it's Sir Anthony. Second last is Sir Sahib. And the trailer is the stretch running Sadler's Joy. Around the far turn for the first time. The opening quarter was 24 seconds flat. That's not flying. It's not crawling either. As Tide of the Sea has the lead by a length and a half. Succeed and Surpass is second. Doswell is at the rail third. Followed at the fence by Miriñaque. Outside of him goes Temple. It's a length and a half to Channel Cat, who's racing about 6 lengths off the lead as they come down in front of us the first time. Tintoretto is at the rail and Clear Vision is out 3 wide. 4 wide is Sir Anthony. Second last is Sir Sahib. And the trailer is still Sadler's Joy with 1 lap left to race. The opening half mile was 48-3 as they race to the clubhouse turn. Tide of the Sea putting up the numbers. He leads by 2. Succeed and Surpass the nearest pursuer second. Doswell is at the rail third. Up on the outside, Channel Cat remains an early fourth. Down at the rail goes Miriñaque with Temple. 3 back to Clear Vision. Next at the rail in Tintoretto. Sir Anthony is between horses. 3 wide Sir Sahib. And no distress signals given by Jose Ortiz as Sadler's Joy remains last of the 11 after 3 quarters in 1:12-2. Less than 5/8 to run in the McKnight, and Tide of the Sea in a bid to make all. He stretches it out again to lead by 2. Succeed and Surpass is second. Doswell's had a good trip, third at the inside. Followed fourth by Temple, then Miriñaque. Creeping a bit closer is Channel Cat. Outside of him in Clear Vision. Sir Sahib given the hurry up, not gaining much ground yet. Then Sir Anthony and Tintoretto, and Sadler's Joy will have to giddy up soon. After a mile in 1:36-4, they round the far turn. Tide of the Sea has the lead. Here's Temple. Let go for a run 3 wide under Irad Ortiz Jr. Doswell hunts Racing Room. Succeed and Surpass is being outkicked as they swing for home. Mike Maker 1-2 with Temple under a full head of steam trying to get Tide of the Sea. Doswell has to check an angle to their outside. 1/8 of a mile to go. Tide of the Sea has something in the tank. He's digging in. Temple is right alongside, but Tide of the Sea has turned him away. Tide of the Sea went 1.5 miles all the way. Temple was second. Doswell third. Sadler's Joy given too much to do. He closed ground to be fourth in 2:24-2. Number 7, Tide of the Sea, first. Number 4, Temple, second. Number 1, Doswell, third. Number 5, Sadler's Joy, fourth. Number 11, Channel Cat ran fifth. 2:24 and 57 100 seconds, the final running time. The numbers were 7, 4, 1, 5, 11. Grand Slam complete for jockey Tyler Gaffleone with 2 big races still on tap. Tide of the Sea proved the speed on display and went 1.5 miles in gate-to-wire fashion. It's official, 7-4, 1-5, 11. Next up, the Pegasus World Cup Turf. We're on the turf here at 1 mile and 3/16 with a field of 12. Win, place, show, exacta, quinella, trifecta, superfecta, super high five, and late daily double opportunity. Returning to the winner's circle now is 3 Diamond Farms Tide of the Sea. 5-year-old bay horse by English Channel out of the Empire Maker mare Routine. Bred in Kentucky by Juddmont Farms, trained by Mike Maker. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a 4-win afternoon for jockey Tyler Gaffleone. Tide of the Sea, all the way at 4-1. The winning exact is $67.80. The quinella, $50.20. Trifecta, $53.50. The superfecta, good for $442.20. $44.22 for a dime. High five did not get hit, or it did get hit, $2,343.20 for a high five. The daily double, good for $192.20. The pick 3, $150.70. We head now to the winner's circle for the trophy presentation being made. Joining us to make the presentation, representing Fasig-Tipton, is Ramiro Restrepo. He makes the presentation to winning jockey Tyler Gaffleone. Winning trainer Mike Maker and the owners, the 3 Diamonds Farm. Mike Maker gets congratulations of an extra variety as he runs first and second in this year's McKnight. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. It's up next, the first of 2 Pegasus World Cup races today. This is the 3rd edition of the $1 million Pegasus World Cup Turf. A grade 1 at 1 mile and 3/16 with win, place, show, exacta, quinella, trifecta, superfecta, super high five, and late daily double opportunity. Post time for the Pegasus Turf at 4:59 in 36 minutes.
One, two, 1, 2. Yep. Is it good? Andrew, give me the thumbs up so I can hand you over to someone who actually has the talent to do this. Yep. Yep. We just need to know that they're getting it back to NBC. Are you guys hearing this in Stanford? Hopefully it's a beautiful day up there. Everything's amazing. Good. A little bit of snow. It's cold up there. Thanks.
Well, we're just fortunate to have 3 really nice horses that not only like the turf, but seem to really like the turf course here at Gulfstream. So we're excited about it. All 3 horses are doing great, and it's fun to have a big race this early in the year.
Trainer Todd Pletcher always seems to have a lineup of strong dirt horses, but this year finds himself with 3 starters in the Pegasus World Cup Turf starting gate. They are each coming off a win right here at Gulfstream Park.
Yeah, I mean, that was sort of the hope anyways, that we could get a prep race into each of them, and worked out where Colonel Liam was coming off a bit of a break, and we were able to get the Tropical Derby in, and so that worked out great. And the other 2 horses are older horses that have always run well here, and it's nice to see a good race under their belt before this.
The Virginia-bred Largent has only ever run first or second in his career, but really stamped himself as a major player in the division with a victory in the Grade 2 Fort Lauderdale.
He's very consistent. He's always performed well, but I agree that was his best effort to date. He settled pretty nicely off a pretty contested pace, and then really delivered a big closing kick. So, I think he's versatile. If there's no speed in this race, he'll be a little bit closer, but it's nice to see him, with a late turn of foot like that.
One of Pletcher's other contenders, Social Paranoia, is already a multiple graded stakes winner who's been running at some shorter distances in 2020.
Well, it was just sort of something that the way the calendar came up, he was coming off a little bit of a layoff, and we shortened him up. He ran great, so we kind of stuck to that plan. Now we're hoping we can stretch him back out where he's had some success up to a mile and 5/16. So, I think a mile and 3/16 is well within his range if he'll settle and make that big kick.
Regally bred Colonel Liam sold for $1.2 million as a 2-year-old, but it seems his coming out party was when Pletcher tried him on the grass in Saratoga.
He's a nice horse on the dirt, but when we put him on the turf, we saw a marked improvement, and he's been very consistent. Very happy with the way he's doing. I think it always takes on a little added fun when you're familiar with the families and the stallions, and we've been fortunate to train a lot of successful stallions, and Liam's map hopefully is on his way to doing that as well.
A 16-time leading trainer at the Gulfstream Park Championship meet, a Pegasus trophy seems to be just about the only thing that's missing.
It'd be great. It's like I said, it's a fun event. It's great to have 2 significant races this early in the year. I think it's kind of been something that is built into a great day for Gulfstream, and it was something that was kind of missing on the calendar. The Don Handicap was a terrific race in its own right, but I think by having the 2 Pegasus race, it makes it a must-see event.
Singer Yoli Mayor's incredible voice earned her praise from a global audience on America's Got Talent. The Miami native first discovered her love of singing at the tender age of 2. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and welcome to Gulfstream Park for the singing of our national anthem, Yoli Mayor.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave. Thank you.
Rousing rendition of the national anthem as we move into the co-main event on the program. Mile and 3/16, $1 million up for grabs in race number 11 here at Gulfstream Park, the third running of the Pegasus Turf. You've got a maxed out field, Ronnie, of 12. All the players are here, including a three-pronged attack from trainer Todd Pletcher. An excellent race.
Yeah, an excellent race, and just so many different ways you can go. It's a great handicapping puzzle. 12 runners in the field. A lot of stakes races throughout the country. You don't see them fields like this, so I can't wait to get the action going.
Well, you're not going to have to wait all that long, my friend. We've got 18 minutes on the clock, and as we inch closer, in fact, to post time, you can feel the excitement, the vibes moving towards that perfect crescendo. And one man that knows what that feels like is jockey Flavien Prat, who Acacia caught up with earlier today.
Pleased to be joined by jockey Flavien Prat, who's here to ride the Pegasus World Cup Turf on Say the Word. You rode him last time in California, Flavien. What did you learn from him? He ran well his first time with Phil D'Amato.
Yeah, as you say, I thought he ran a good race. Find ourselves a little too far back. We had a lot of ground to make, but he was definitely running down the lane, and I mean, that race, they ran pretty fast that day, so hopefully he can run a good race today.
How do you potentially see the race playing out, as it's a mile and 3/16? Almost sounds kind of counterintuitive to want to have some speed, get position early on, but it seems like your horse has a good closing kick.
Yeah, exactly. He's not really fast out of the gate, and the first part, it kind of takes time to get his rhythm, but you know, I'm outside, so I'm probably going to have enough time to find myself in a good spot, and hopefully we can make a good run.
Tell me a bit about some of the preparations and getting ready to ride here. Of course, you're based in California. You've had a tremendous last couple of years, but tell me a bit about the prep, getting ready to ride for the Pegasus this year.
Well, it's pretty much, you know, the same routine. Obviously, I flew yesterday and kind of, you know, get a good sleep, and we're ready to go.
Flavien, thank you so much. Good luck today.
All right, good catching up with Flavien Prat. We don't get to see him all that often here at Gulfstream Park, but in a short span, he has become arguably the top rider in all of Southern California. Has a Kentucky Derby win with Country House and trainer Bill Mott a few years ago, and he's going to ride, Ronnie, your top pick in this race. And there is, I mean, speaking of Southern Cali, there is a pretty big West Coast flavor, and that includes the Phil D'Amato train, number 11, Say the Word, who is coming out of a good try against a pretty good field in that Hollywood Turf Cup right around Thanksgiving at Del Mar.
Well, he's making his local day return here after stacking up the frequent flyer miles when he followed his victory in the Grade 1 Northern Dancer up at Woodbine. I thought a real strong closing second. That was in the Grade 2 Hollywood Turf Cup at Del Mar. You mentioned the connections, Phil Amato, the trainer. I just think this horse, being on the outside, there's some speed in here that he's going to sit a pretty nice trip. He's going to have to carve out a nice alley for him to run in, but I think he's going to run exceptionally well. And I was looking to get a little bit of a price, 8-1 on the board right now.
And in terms of trying to maybe suss out or blueprint what might happen early on, I mean, how do you see the pace in this race?
I see it pretty strong in here. There's a lot of different horses that need the lead, but we saw Tyler just in the previous race on the turf just slow it down and be able to go from wire to wire. So I'm expecting the pace to be a little stronger this time out and horses to come running at the end. We've got some really strong closers in this field.
We do, and that obviously includes the first of our 3 Pletcher runners we're going to talk about for trainer Todd Pletcher, obviously, the 5 Colonel Liam. You know, as Acacia said in that excellent feature that ran a few minutes ago, there aren't all that many blank spaces as far as Todd Pletcher's first ballot Hall of Fame resume. And 2021 is the year he's first time eligible for the Hall, and he's obviously a 1-20 shot to get in. I think of the Preakness and maybe a Pegasus win. And in terms of the 5 Colonel Liam, he has not faced, nor has he beat the kind of firepower that he's about to line up in the starting gate against. And I do think there's a difference between where he's been and some of these other horses like the 8 Another Twist of Fate, or even his stablemates for that matter, in Largent and Social Paranoia. What I see, though, with this very pricey 7-figure yearling purchase is a colt by Liam's Map who is very much still coming into his own, and off that prep in the Tropical Park Derby. Although he's got to improve again, I think he's going to be up to the task. I'm really excited to see how this colt runs.
You know, you listened to when Acacia talked to Todd, and he said once they put this horse on the turf, it changed everything around, and he was really impressive in the Tropical Park Derby. You're right, he hasn't faced this Grade 1 competition that some of the horses have done in the field. I think he's going to run well. I got him a little further down on my ticket today, but I would not be surprised. He's gone favorite right now. I thought he would be, too.
And not Todd Pletcher's first rodeo. I think he's got a handful of Florida Derby victories to his credit. 16 Gulfstream Park championship meet trading titles as well. And as he told Acacia earlier today, he would love to add a Pegasus win to those lofty accomplishments. Well, he got a Fort Lauderdale victory here a few weeks ago with the number 6 Largent, who took advantage of a pace that couldn't have been any faster and melted down. We didn't see much pace in the McKnight a few moments back, and Doswell did well, I guess, to close and finish third in that spot behind the 2 Mike Maker horses. I've liked Largent from the beginning, and I've had to reevaluate, I think, my initial opinion of this horse at being more of a miler / middle distance out to a 1.16 horse. He's obviously won and run well at a 1 mile and a furlong, and did he tip his hand last time out as maybe a gelding at this stage, who the longer he goes, the better off he might be?
Well, you know, Largent was one of those head-swirling performances last time out. After the race, everyone was talking about just how impressive he looked, winning at 1 mile and an 1/8. And I thought going in, he was the wise guy horse in here. I was really struggling of putting Largent on top or Say the Word. Ended up putting Say the Word that we talked about already. But Largent right there, Paco Lopez returning, really consistent son of Into Mischief. With those, he just runs well. 9 starts, 6 wins, and 3 seconds.
And Social Paranoia, the last of the 3 in the mix for trainer Todd Pletcher, is on the outside. This 5-year-old obviously likes this turf course, and I think you get the best of everything with him, and he's a good price, so maybe add another nugget to the positive side of the ledger. He's a horse that won his prep, won it convincingly, and as strong as he's been and the wallop that he's packed, say from 7.5 to 1 mile, I like the fact that he's already won at 1 mile and 5/16 and has done pretty well in again, races beyond 1 mile.
Yeah, when you look down, he's run very well at these longer distances. He's been running short. Of course, that prep was only 7.5 furlongs. Sets him up perfect. Louis Saez with the outside draw.
The 2 breaking the rules will go out for Hall of Famer Shug McGahee and the Black and Cherry of the Phipps stable. Of course, they got the stakes action underway in the Fred Hooper earlier this afternoon with Performer. It does feel as though breaking the rules took another step forward last time out in the Fort Lauderdale, and we'll see how he does stepping up against the big boys. We'll get more on the field, in fact, who the players are from front to back Pete Aiello standing by with the post parade for the Pegasus Turf.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gulfstream Park, the Stronach Group, and First proudly present to you now the third edition of the Pegasus World Cup Turf Invitational. $1 million in guaranteed purse money over a firm turf course at 1 mile and 3/16. Here's the field. Number 1 is Next Shares, owned by Debbie Baltus, Richard Baltus, Christopher Dunn, Jules Ivorone, Michael Ivorone, Jerry McClanahan, Richie Robershaw, and Mark Taylor. Trained by Richard Baltus. The rider is Drayden Van Dyke. Number 2 is Phipps Stable, Breaking the Rules. Shug McGahee trains, John Velasquez, the jockey. Number 3 is Storm the Court, owned by X-Line Border Racing, David Birdson, Susanna Wilson, and Dan Huddock. Trained by Peter Urton, ridden by Julian Laparoux. Number 4 is North Dakota, owned by Joseph Allen, trained by Shug McGahee, with Jose Ortiz. Number 5 is Robert and Lawana Lowe's Colonel Liam. Todd Pletcher trains, Irad Ortiz Jr. up. Number 6 is Largent, owned by Twin Creeks Racing Stable and Eclipse Thoroughbred Partners, trained by Todd Pletcher, ridden by Paco Lopez. Number 7 is Aquaphobia, owned by Sky Chai Racing, David Staudiker, Hooties Racing, and Paradise Farms, trained by Mike Maker, ridden by Joe Bravo. Number 8 is Another Twist of Fate, owned by Peter Redekop, trained by Peter Miller, ridden by Joel Rosario. Number 9 is Cross Border, owned by Three Diamonds Farm, trained by Mike Maker, with Tyler Gaffleone. Number 10 is Godolphin's Pixelate. Mike Stidham is the trainer. The jockey is Edgard Zayas. Number 11 is Say the Word, owned by Agave Racing and Samson Farm, trained by Phil D'Amato, with Flavion Pratt. Rounding out the field is the Elkstone Group's Social Paranoia. Todd Pletcher is the trainer. The jockey, Luis Saez. That's the field of 12 talented horses to go 1 mile and 3/16 over a firm turf course. The third edition of the Grade 1 Pegasus World Cup Turf Invitational. It's up next in 8 minutes. And ladies and gentlemen, we do have our Best Turned Out Horse Award winner for this year's Pegasus World Cup Invitational. That award goes to the groom of the number 8 horse, Another Twist of Fate. Congratulations go out to Elvin Baraha. Congratulations to Elvin for a job well done, and good luck to Another Twist of Fate.
Horses on the track warming up for the Pegasus World Cup Turf, and this is a race where I think you could find some value, and I'm trying to do just that with the number 2, Breaking the Rules for trainer Shug McGahee. Came back off of a year layoff almost to the day and won the last race of the day right after the Belmont Stakes to kick off his 2020 campaign, and he's just really had a good year, I think, since then. I think he ran poorly in the Lure, but had an excuse in the Knickerbockers. He really didn't seem to handle that soft turf. He also, I think, before the Knickerbocker, didn't really have that kind of spark that I had seen in the paddock at Saratoga, where he won that allowance race with the 101 Buyer speed figure. That's what I'm seeing from him today, which I'm thrilled about because he's 9-1, and I'm hoping to get a bit of a price on him in here. I also think it's a cool, interesting nugget that his half-brother, a performer, won the Fred Hooper earlier on today, so it could be a good afternoon for the family and for Shug McGahee as well. I thought he moved a little soon last time out in the Fort Lauderdale, and hoping that he gets a good setup today. He can be handy, he can be tactical, but I loved the way he was striding out, almost kind of had that prancing movement in the walking ring and heading out onto the track, where he's really been very professional, not bubbling over, but that good forward energy that I really wanted to see from him, as I again noticed back in Saratoga. Your current favorite at 5-2 is Colonel Liam. I'm a big fan of this horse. I remember seeing his debut back in April here, and the way that he kind of galloped out, and he was elevated to first through disqualification. I said, I don't know if I'm crazy, but I think he kind of looks like a turf horse. And he's run well on the dirt, but his turf races have been sensational. I do think it's a positive that while the waters are much deeper today, he did win that allowance at Saratoga back in July against older horses already. Straight 3-year-olds in the Saratoga Derby with a wide trip behind 2 future Grade 1 winners, and then last time out off of a layoff to win the Tropical Park Derby. Beautifully put together. Nice, lovely stride to him. He really perked up a lot on track as well. And for a horse that's very lightly raced, he really takes everything in stride, his soul surroundings and all of that. Fitness, absolutely no complaints about him. He looks like he's coming in ready to roll. The only negative, I would say, is that A, he's lightly raced, and B, he doesn't really offer much value in here. But I do think that he's a worthy favorite of the body of work and the pedigree. The Second Dam, one of the greatest turf race mares in Wonder again. So obviously there is that turf influence. The number 8, Another Twist of Fate. Now, he is one that I toyed with picking on top. I think he's the speed of the speed. And his last race in the San Gabriel, at 1 mile and an eighth, I thought he ran very, very well. And saw him paddock school the other day as the distance had been a little bit of a question with me. And I looked at him and I said, whoa, he's a big boy. He really has developed a lot since I last saw him, which was in May of 2019 at the Preakness Stakes. He's filled out, he's carrying great condition, got a little bit warm behind, but I had noticed the same thing from him schooling the other day, so again, not taking it as a negative. He got a little bit revved up out there on track, but he has some natural speed, and for a horse like him, you do want to see that, but great in his coat as well. The number 11 now, Say the Word. He also is one that I saw at Saratoga, and I've told this story before. He was so keyed up in the paddock before the race, he nearly took my cameraman out and was all over the place. He wanted a big price, and he had some back class, and then went on to run very well. Third in the Singspiel, and then won the Grade 1 Northern Dancer up at Woodbine, going 1.5 miles. Distance, no problem for him. Flavian Pratt got acquainted with him in the Hollywood Turf Cup last time. He stayed out on the horse path, didn't come into the walking ring, but he, as far as I can tell, and from what I've seen from him in the past, has acted very, very well today. You want to conserve as much as possible, especially going the 1 mile and 3/16 this afternoon. Finally, to the outside, another Todd Pletcher runner, Social Paranoia. It seemed like he had really found his home, going 1 mile and a 16th, going a little bit shorter with that big closing kick. He does have a race now off of the layoff, going a little bit shorter, so he's stretching out in here today. He has one going longer. I think we've really seen his best, most potent kicks at those slightly shorter distances, but he does have a really good, strong run from him. He's the type of horse that's just so solid, tends to carry that condition. Beautiful, luxurious coat, as is always the case for him. Far outside post. Given that he's a closer, I don't take it as too much of a negative. It's certainly not a benefit to be far outside, but he will be coming from off of it already. So we'll see how he does handle the stretch out, now second off the bench too. But he's one that I felt was a little bit, again, we kind of found his better spots going a touch shorter. We'll see if he's able to stretch out once again today, but one thing is for sure, he looks the part, and Todd Pletcher does hold a very strong hand in here, as he has your current favorite at 5-2, the regally bred Colonel Liam, looking for that Pegasus World Cup Turf Trophy, which is just about 2 minutes away. Stand by for a good one coming up here on the grass at Gulfstream.
The horses are approaching the starting gate. 1 minute to the Pegasus World Cup turf. Ladies and gentlemen, the horses have reached the starting gate. It's post time for the Pegasus World Cup turf. 12 talented individuals at 1 3/16 on the turf for $1 million in guaranteed purse money. Next Shares draws the inside gate and is the first to move in line. Another Twist of Fate, Aquaphobia are both ready. Here's Breaking the Rules. Storm the Court. North Dakota, Cross Border. Pixelate under jockey Edgard Zayas. Colonel Liam. He is the current favorite here at 5-2. 3 more waiting for Say the Word, Largent, and from the outside, Social Paranoia. Social Paranoia, drawn the outside gate, will complete the line. They're in the gate. And they're off in the Pegasus World Cup turf. From the center, Largent was well served at the start. Storm the Court is down at the inside and moving to challenge. Here's another Twist of Fate in the pink colors moving up on the outside. Social Paranoia from the high draw has no alternative but to be wide early with Pixelate racing between horses. The race favorite Colonel Liam is down toward the inside in the purple colors, just behind him in Cross Border. 3 wide for Say the Word. Breaking the Rules is at the rail. Aquaphobia is between horses. He's racing back 10th. 11th early is Next Shares, and 12th and last is North Dakota as they race around the first turn. Storm the Court in front, 3 parts of length. On the outside, another Twist of Fate is Saget. Paco Lopez has Largent third at the inside, followed out 3 wide by Social Paranoia. Then it's Pixelate, Say the Word, is caught wide on the course. Meanwhile, that's Colonel Liam, who rides the rail. Cross Border is sandwiched between horses. Then it's back to Breaking the Rules from between horses and Aquaphobia. Next Shares is still racing 11th, but he's not far away, no more than 6 lengths off the lead. And at the back of the field is North Dakota, but he has no more than 8 lengths to make up to the opening half mile in 48 and 3. That after an opening quarter of 23 and 2. They're inside half a mile from home in the 2021 Pegasus World Cup Turf. Storm the Court has been in front from the outset. He leads by a neck. 3 wide, Social Paranoia from between horses, another Twist of Fate. Largent still in end of the bit here. He's 4th at the inside, followed 3 wide by Say the Word, then Pixelate. Irad Ortiz Jr. needs to find some racetrack for Colonel Liam. The big favorite is sequestered down at the inside. He's trying to work to the outside and get into gear as they're at the top of the stretch. It's another Twist of Fate who's up to take the lead, tackled by Social Paranoia. Largent's at the rail, and Colonel Liam is loose now. And here he comes, Colonel Liam, charging hard down the center. Colonel Liam is up for the lead. Largent tries to run with him. Todd Pletcher 1-2, but Colonel Liam wins the Pegasus Turf. Largent was second. Cross Border ran third in 1:53 flat. Number 5, Colonel Liam was first. Number 6, Largent was second. Number 9, Cross Border was third. Number 12, Social Paranoia was fourth. Number 10, Pixelate ran fifth. Numbers posted on the board 5, 6, 9, 12, and the 10. Colonel Liam gets the job done at 5-2 in 1:53 flat. The 12th race is up next, the Pegasus World Cup Invitational, 5th edition of this race at 1 1/8 over the fast main track for $3 million in guaranteed money. It's a field of 12, win, play, show, exacta, quinella, trifecta, superfecta, and super high five possibility. 11th race result is now official, 5, 6, 9, 12, and 10. Now returning to the winner's circle is the winner of the 2021 Pegasus World Cup Turf, number 5, Colonel Liam. Colonel Liam is a 4-year-old Gray-Roan colt by Liam's Map out of Amazement by Bernardini. Bred in Kentucky by the Phillips Racing Partnership. Colonel Liam is raced and owned by Robert and Lawana Lowe. Todd Pletcher, the winning trainer. The winning jockey, Irad Ortiz Jr. Off at 5-2, Colonel Liam wins in 1:53 and 9/100. Congratulations to the winner of the Pegasus World Cup Turf. It's Colonel Liam in the winner's circle now. The winning exacta, $28.20. The Quinella, $17.40. The trifecta, $96 and a nickel. The superfecta, good for $1,143.20. $114.32 for a dime. High five did not get hit. Pegasus World Cup carryover in the high five of more than $13,600. The daily double combination, numbers in the daily double are 7-5, $46 even. The pick 3, $282.55.
A run by Colonel Liam in the Pegasus World Cup Turf. For the trophy presentation to winning owners, Robert and Lawana Lowe, we have Aiden Butler, the COO of First. No! We'll have Aiden say a few words first, and then I promise I'll talk to you.
Just like to say congratulations. What an amazing feat. What an amazing horse. Well done to the connections, and look forward to having you back again. And 1-2, a pretty good feat.
Robert, if I could have a word with you here. Colonel Liam, a massive investment. I heard at first you wanted this horse to be a Triple Crown contender. Just talk me through the emotion, though, of winning such a big race like this on the turf.
Oh, this is just unreal. It's fantastic. I've got to give the credit to, our wonderful trainer, Todd Pletcher, wonderful rider, Irad Ortiz. I mean, we just had a great combination. We had the horse, we had the trainer, we had the rider, and they got it done. And we're just very, very thankful, very grateful. It's a wonderful feeling. Thank you.
I can see the smiles under the mask there. Congratulations to all of you. Congratulations, Todd Pletcher, as well as Irad Ortiz. Irad, I'm sorry I didn't get to have words with you, but we'll chat in a bit. Congratulations to the entire team of Colonel Liam taking the Grade 1 Pegasus World Cup Turf Invitational.
Pegasus Turf in the books. We move on. The main event here, $3 million up for grabs. 5th running of the Pegasus World Cup Dirt. Began some 4 years ago. You had Arrogate against California Chrome. Gunrunner the following year, City of Light. In its short history, Ronnie, I mean, this is a race that was more of a maybe renegade idea at the outset, but has turned into just a can't-miss, must-see early season event here at Gulfstream Park.
Yeah, and the key is the early season. You don't get usually to see these type of races where you run for $3 million, and all the top horses that are in training are right here in this race this afternoon.
They certainly are. Now, we do have to tie a quick ribbon around Colonel Liam and Todd Pletcher's 1-2 finish in the Pegasus Turf. Great ride from Arad Ortiz Jr., and I think a lot of us expected Colonel Liam to be that level as he took the step up.
Yeah, and Largent in second run, a very good race, and Todd also finished 4th, so he almost had to try Social Paranoia in 4th. So 1st, 2nd, and 4th, that's a pretty good afternoon.
It certainly is. Now, a good afternoon was something, or a good meet in general, an outstanding meet, is a statement I think trainer Danny Gargan has enjoyed basically since the outset of this thing back on, Wednesday, December the 2nd. This is a barn that is batted at a high percentage, will look for the biggest prize of the South Florida racing calendar with their tax, and more on him and more on the Pegasus. Here's our own Acacia Courtney with a nice feature.
Now in its 5th running, the $3 million Pegasus World Cup is continuing to evolve. The same perhaps could be said for Tax, the big son of Arch, who will take his second shot at the Pegasus on January 23rd. After stumbling at the break in the 2020 edition, Tax tried the Oaklawn handicap without success before a lengthy layoff. It seems his return in the Grade 3 Harlan's Holiday has unveiled a stronger, more developed horse for trainer Danny Gargan.
Well, we gave him time off last year. We decided because of COVID, there was a lot of races that went missing. And, he's a gelding. We want to keep him around for longer, race him through his 5- and 6-year-old career, maybe even 7 if he stays good like he is now. So we gave him time off, and we were going to try to get back sooner. We really had it in our minds. We'd run at Kingland and win, and then run in the Breeders' Cup. And he spiked the temperature the morning of the race, and we couldn't run. And then after that, we decided not to rush him into the Breeders' Cup, brought him down to Florida, got him acclimated, and was pointing for the Pegasus and using the Harlan's Holiday as a prep. And he showed up and ran a big race. Well, it's kind of exciting to see him do what his morning workouts were really spectacular coming into it. He showed some big works, and there was a lot of hype behind him. And, until you run him to see if they're going to really give it to you, like he was grown up, he's so much bigger, stronger, more mature than he's ever been. It was kind of exciting to watch.
After last year's mishap, Tax was sharp out of the gate in his prep for this year's Pegasus World Cup, something the Gargan team has been working on.
He's such a big horse. When he's in the gate, he takes the whole gate up. So you have to stand him, get him used. He gets in there and kind of rattles it sometimes. He's not really so much bad. It just gets uncomfortable. So he's so big, he's touching both ends of it. But he's gotten used to it more. The key is, obviously, in the Pegasus, Louis is an unbelievable gate rider. He knows that that's a big focus, is getting him out of the gate.
Tax has been good to his connections, now a winner of 3 graded stakes after being claimed for just $50,000. His ownership group has been enjoying the ride.
Well, that's a great thing about it. Randy's fun no matter what the atmosphere is. He just wants to enjoy it. We want to win always. We're kind of that kind of operation. We like to win. We have a lot of fun winning. It'd be awesome if we could win the race, but it's just awesome to be in the race. And Dean's the more relaxed, laid-back guy. He's really intelligent and takes everything in stride. And Randy's the wild, fun one. And Hugh's kind of right along with it. He's quieter. He sits in the background, more laid-back. But it's they're great owners, and they really leave you alone, let you do your job. So I'm really blessed to have them support me.
And Tax, of course, running in his 2nd consecutive Pegasus. Did run well last year behind Mucho Gusto, but I think the vibe with him, and Danny touched upon that, judging from the effort we saw, that tour de force performance a few weeks ago in the Harlan's Holiday, we might simply be dealing with the Tax, almost like a Tax 2.0 at this stage of the game.
Yeah, he really stamped himself onto my ticket when he returned in the Grade 2 Harlan's Holiday. He was so impressive. He's had trouble at the gate in the past. He certainly didn't have that. He was out fast, and great ride by Louis Saez, and I think he's going to run a bang-up race in here.
In its short history, though, the one common thread with our 3 out of 4 Breeders, or I should say Pegasus Dirt winners, has been prior success in the Breeders' Cup. You think of Arrogate, who had won the Classic in 17 or in 16, 17 came here in January and won it in late January of 17. And then you had Gunrunner, who won the Classic the previous autumn. City of Light was a Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile winner, and that Breeders' Cup connection holds true here, my friend, with the number 4, Knicks Go. I mean, I almost, Ronnie, ran out of words to properly, surmise just the kind of efforts we've seen out of him in his 3 starts for trainer Brad Cox.
Yeah, he's been nothing less than sensational moving to Brad's barn. The son of Painter followed his head-swirling optional claiming victory with a front-running score in the Grade 1 Breeders' Cup Dirt. The only unknown today is how he'll handle a 9-furlong distance, but he's got speed, he's got a great post, and I think he's absolutely the one to beat.
Oh, without a doubt, and clearly his 3 races for trainer Brad Cox, who's probably a pretty big favorite to be named champion trainer of 2020 a bit later this month with the 2020 Eclipse Awards by virtue of his 4 wins in the Breeders' Cup. Knicks Go, obviously one of the Cox Quartet that weekend at Keeneland. Just the exposed form. He's also got Joel Rosario, who, although Joel is not riding daily here like he has in some winters past at Gulfstream, he knows this track well, he knows Knicks Go well, and he also knows Acacia well, who caught up with him earlier today.
So pleased to be joined by jockey Joel Rosario, who's here to ride Knicks Go, the morning line favorite in the Pegasus World Cup. Joel, you've ridden this horse the last couple of times. He's just been so good on the lead. It's so impressive. What have you learned from this horse in the last couple of races?
Yeah, you're right. He's being improved, since the first race I rode him in Keeneland, the allowance race. And, he won the Breeders' Cup Mile, so that was a very good performance. And, he looked like he improving.
He has a lot of speed, and going the 1 1/8 here at Gulfstream, short into the first turn. A couple of horses inside and out of you that may be forward as well. How do you expect the race to play out?
I mean, I think, just getting away and see where he want to put me and, go into the first swing and stuff like that, and it's all up to him after that.
Do you think he needs to be on the lead, or do you think he can rate a little bit if needed?
I mean, he's a horse to ride, I just have to listen what, Brax have to say and stuff like that and go from there.
Like I said, short run into the first turn at the 9 furlongs. How important is it here to get position early?
Oh, yeah, it's very important, to just get and go and look like, pretty much you have to be in the race a little bit, and then it seemed like that, so we just kind of have an idea to what we want to do, so yeah.
And we're happy to have you here. How's it feel to be back at Gulfstream for the Pegasus?
Oh, it's beautiful, nice and warm and just perfect. Just glad to be here and, beautiful weather.
Good luck, Joel. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, perfect.
Always like catching up with Joel Rosario, Ronnie. He's always had a little bit, clearly the talent once the starting gate opens up on the racetrack, but he's always had this kind of and that's where he's from, I guess, kind of Southern Cali, laid back vibe that is always, anytime you talk to him or hear an interview, really jumps off the page to me.
Well, he took your job as weatherman. They're saying how beautiful the weather is here. That's usually your job here. So we're going to talk to Joel about that.
I got to get him in. I'm leaving. This is my last race, in fact, and it has been a great honor working with you and Acacia and everybody here at the Strana Group. But maybe, teach Joel about the palm tree system. 5 palms out of 5 is a picture-perfect day. To me anyway, I see this gray horse, this Maryland bred by Painter. Speed, his running style, throwing all the obvious traits this guy brings to the race on paper with his running style and the 9 furlong trip at Gulfstream. I think he's going to be a really reliable favorite here, Ronnie. I really, really do.
Yeah, he's got the ideal post. He's got the speed, which is always key here at Gulfstream Park. I just think he's going to sit that perfect trip right out of the gate. He's got to get position, as Joel said, and if there's anybody better than Joel on or just off the lead, I don't know about it.
Yeah, I think he's riding this horse, putting him on the front end and just riding him like he's the best horse in class of the field. Shug McGahee, meanwhile, is looking for his first Pegasus victory. Shug got the win earlier today in the Fred Hooper with Performer, who was workmanlike and ran a great race, actually putting away Eye of a Jedi, who continues to impress. And, in terms of liking the 10 Code of Honor, who's been a top-class horse for a very long time, it is neat. Win, lose, or draw here, I do want to be on the record. It's pretty refreshing, Ronnie, in this day and age, seeing a horse that won the Travers in the summer of 2019 returning here as a 5-year-old and an earner of nearly $3 million. I mean, horses like him are usually whisked away to the breeding shed. Not the case with Code of Honor, who I guess when it comes down to it, the faster they go, clearly the better off he's going to be.
Yeah, he's making his local return for sure. Looking to improve on that recent second-place finishes in both the Grade 1 Clark and the Grade 2 Kelso. He's also the 2019 Fountain of Youth winner, so I think he sits the trip off the world-class speed in this field.
And he, of course, coming out of a runner-up finish, but a good finish and a good effort altogether behind Bodie Express in the Grade 1 Clark. And, I mean, how about the day Tyler Gaffleone, Ronnie, has enjoyed? I mean, this is a place he knows like the back of his hand. He's a native of Davie, Florida. His dad was a jockey. His uncle grew up coming to the races here at Gulfstream, and he's had quite the day so far. This would be, I think, literally the cherry on top of the sundae.
Without a doubt, he's gone on. We taught him everything he knows. Took him to Kentucky. He's won everything you can win in Kentucky. But he's a great kid, and he's a really good rider. Very, very patient rider.
So you've got, I think, to be fair, although a 12-horse field, I think in terms of just the wagering and clearly the amount of money bet, a good 85% of this race is between Knicks Go, Tax, and Code of Honor. Talking about some of the bigger prices, and if you like one, have at it, because there are some double-digit prices all over the place. I want to mention and give a quick pop and some acknowledgement to the one Sleepy Eyes Todd, who will go from the rail, and I'm often reminded, just looking at a horse like this, Kentucky bred, Patio Prado, doesn't have this crazy, blue chip type pedigree, that a good horse can come from anywhere, and it just seems no matter the trip, the distance, he leaves it all out there on the racetrack.
Yeah, he was really impressive in the Grade 3 Mr. Prospector, going 7 furlongs. So I think he's going to run well. But we got to say something, about the number 5, Jesus' team, our buddy here.
Yeah, no, Jesus' team has been a Cinderella, this ongoing, Cinderella story. And if you're a fan of betting or rooting for the underdog, I mean, that's what's going on with this colt by Tapiture. I mean, he began his career, with all due respect and peace and love, about as run-of-the-mill as you possibly could, as a low-level maiden claimer. And after breaking his maiden, switched over to Jose D'Angelo, who's a native of Venezuela. Both he and his dad moved here to train horses and have done pretty well on this circuit year-round. And once he moved over with Jose, I mean, the race was history. From some runner-up finishes and hitting the board and some big Grade 1s, does he get the ultimate prize here, Ronnie, cutting down everybody in the Pegasus Dirt?
Well, he's going to come running late. You just go through his record. Second in the Pegasus, second in the Jim Dandy Grade 2, third in the Preakness, second behind Knicks Go in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, and coming back in a hard-fought victory in the Claiming Crown Jewel. He's always right there at the wire. The faster they go up front is definitely better for him.
I feel like a day like today has been a long time coming, from running the Florida Derby here with Tiz the Law late last March and in front of empty stands, to have some fans on hand and an energetic crowd. It is really a sight to see, and it's been quite the Pegasus afternoon on this Saturday, January 23rd. We build up the final crescendo, the main event. The $3 million fifth running of the Pegasus World Cup Dirt is next at Gulfstream Park.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Stronach Group, first in Gulfstream Park, proudly present to you now the $3 million Pegasus World Cup Invitational, the fifth running of this race at 1 1/8 over a fast main track. Let's meet the field. Number 1 is Sleepy Eyes Todd, owned by Thumbs Up Racing and trained by Miguel Silva. The jockey, Jose Ortiz. Number 2 is Coastal Defense, owned by the Helen Groves Revocable Trust and the Albaugh family stable, trained by Dale Romans, ridden by Corey Lannery. Number 3 is Independence Hall, owned in partnership by RKV Racing, Twin Creeks Racing, Windstar Farm, and Eclipse Thoroughbred Partners, trained by Mike McCarthy, ridden by Flavion Pratt. Number 4 is Knicks Go, owned by the Korea Racing Authority and trained by Brad Cox. In the irons, Joel Rosario. Number 5 is Jesus' team, owned by Grupo 7C Racing Stable and trained by Jose D'Angelo with Irad Ortiz Jr. Number 6 is Kiss Today Goodbye, owned by John Sonderecker and trained by Eric Kruljak with Mike Smith up. Number 7 is Tax, owned in partnership by Reeves Thoroughbred Racing, Hugh Lynch, and R.A. Hill Stable of Randy Hill, trained by Danny Gargan, ridden by Luis Saez. Number 8 is Harper's First Ride, owned by Arnold Benowith, GMP Stables, and Cypress Creek Equine, trained by Claudio Gonzalez, ridden by Angel Cruz. Number 9 is Last Judgment, owned by Nice Guys Stable, Steve Hornstock, Bethlehem Stable, and Michael Dubb, trained by Mike Maker with Paco Lopez. Number 10 is Will Farish's Code of Honor, trained by Shug McGahee, ridden today by Tyler Gaffleone. Number 11 is Mr. Freeze, under the care of trainer Dale Romans for owners Jim Bakke and Jerry Isbister, with John Velasquez in the irons. And rounding out the field, number 12, Math Wizard, owned by the Bassett Stable, Iona Zumas, John Finelli, Khalid Mizref, Akash's King Stable, trained by Safi Joseph Jr., ridden today by Edgard Zayas. That's the field of 12 to do battle on the main track at 1 1/8 for the 5th edition of the Pegasus World Cup Invitational, $3 million in guaranteed money, and post time is just 5 minutes away. And ladies and gentlemen, we do have our best turned out award winner for the Pegasus World Cup. It is Tax, and Tax's groom is Ilio Alvarez. Congratulations to Ilio Alvarez, and our thanks once again to Centennial Farms and the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance. Good luck to Tax in the Pegasus World Cup.
The 5th running of the Pegasus World Cup coming up next, and all eyes on Nixco, the number 4 in here. Can he make it 4 in a row? He is stretching out a little bit in distance now to the 1 1/8 after winning the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. To be fair, he broke the track record that day. There were a lot of track records broken on Breeders' Cup weekend at Keeneland, but he did it so easily, so impressively. He is far and above the one to beat, and I think it's encouraging almost to see that he is as short a price as he is. I was wondering if he was going to kind of be a little bit hesitantly bet given the almost wide open feel of this field, but he's 7-5 right now on the board. And I have to say, once he got out into the walking ring, he puffed up. He was like a prize fighter, kind of bubbling, that energy bubbling underneath the surface. That's what you love to see before a race like this. I think he really found his best stride at the mile, but the 1 1/8 is short into the first run here, and the pace is a little bit of a question of me, but Joel Rosario, such a good judge of pace, and I'm sure we'll have him in a good groove early on. I don't expect the number 7 Tax to be on the engine early. Speaking to Danny Gargan, said that he was just so sharp off the layoff last time. He doesn't need the lead. He'll probably be up in the first flight, which will be to his benefit, as the starting gate is positioned right outside the winner's circle here. It's a very short run into the first turn. I'm sure there will be a few that are caught pretty wide early on into the first turn. But Tax, I'm sure, with Luis Saez being such a strong gate rider, and I loved what Danny had explained about this being such a big horse and that he just takes up all the gate and can really kind of knock himself almost off balance. Seeing him coming back in the Harlan's Holiday last time, this horse has put on at least 100 pounds. Now as a 5-year-old, the age of 5 is when horses are physically mature, and that's when we're really getting to see the best version of Tax. He's acted great today, too. A little bit more calm than he was last time, though he's still sharp and that great forward energy. I think he's going to get a great trip, and he's the one that I landed on in here today. Right next door to him, right there on track warming up, is the number 10 Code of Honor. He's one that probably wasn't aided by the draw and being drawn towards the outside, but he is more of a closer, so he's going to be coming from off of it a little bit more today. And he had loose on the lead Bodie Express last time. He was a little bit flat, but seeing him paddock school the other day and just looking at him physically, he is carrying good flesh. He's acted well. He got a little bit more revved up, which I was almost a little bit nervous to not see him revved up today, as that's what he typically is, very much on his toes before the races. He's a smaller individual. He hasn't really grown, never really carried a lot of condition. So seeing him in the state that he is right now, I like what I see from him. I think he's a logical one, especially if there's a hot pace. We'll see if he's going to be able to pick up some of the pieces late. Now, the number 2 is one of 2 in here for Dale Romans. Coastal Defense is the one that I did prefer. I thought he ran a sneaky good trip with a bit of a trouble break last time in the Clark. Sneaky good trip in the Fayette 2 back. He's a monster price. Actually expected him to be a little bit bigger than 19-1, but he's one I wanted to use underneath. I think the 9 furlong suits him perfectly, being a son of Curlin. Did stay out on the horse path, not into the walking ring, but he acted very well. He's kept it together, as he does have the tendency, as is typical in his family a little bit too, to get a little bit hot and warm. I'm not really seeing that from him today, though. He's acted very professionally. I hope that's a positive. Can't say the same about the number 11, Mr. Freeze. But one thing I will say is I've noticed Mr. Freeze runs better when he acts up before the race. That's when you're getting the real Mr. Freeze. Coming back to what I mentioned at the start of this segment, as far as the pace does go, I think John Velasquez with an outside post is going to have to send with Mr. Freeze. Sleepy Eyes Todd with the inside post has to send from the inside as well. We'll see what the pace develops with Nick Sko having so much early speed too, but Mr. Freeze was trying to buck and act up in the walking ring, out on the track as well, getting hot on the neck. But again, that's when we get the good version of Mr. Freeze, and that's what he did before last year's Pegasus World Cup, where he ran second. There he goes again with his typical antics. So we'll see if that's a good sign about Mr. Freeze today. 6-5 right now on your Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile winner, Nick Sko, 2 minutes away from the 5th running of the Pegasus World Cup.
The horses are approaching the starting gate. Less than 1 minute to the 2021 Pegasus World Cup. Ladies and gentlemen, the horses have reached the starting gate. It's now post time for the Pegasus World Cup. 12 talented individuals at 1 1/8 over the fast main track for $3 million in guaranteed purse money. First to move in line is Sleepy Eyes Todd. Tax is getting ready now. Coastal Defense and Harper's First Ride, the next duo. Independence Hall and the colors of the Windstar Farm. Last Judgment. Race favorite and Breeders' Cup winner Knicks Go. Code of Honor. Jesus' team. Three more. Mr. Freeze. Kiss Today Goodbye. And from the outside, Math Wizard. The locally based Math Wizard will complete the line. They're in the gate. And they're off in the Pegasus World Cup. Excellent beginning for the big favorite Knicks Go, and Joel Rosario will waste no time on making him on the lead here. 3 wide in Last Judgment from between tacks. The pace is pretty quick early as Independence Hall is 4th down toward the inside. Followed 5th by Jesus' team, then it's Mr. Freeze and Coastal Defense. The Maryland-based Harper's First Ride is mid-flight, but better than 8 lengths behind. 1.5 lengths to Code of Honor, then it's 2 more to Sleepy Eyes Todd. He races along 10th. 11th is Kiss Today Goodbye, and Math Wizard is 12th and last, and better than 15 lengths off the lead of Knicks Go. Knicks Go with that high cruising speed. He's into the backstretch on top 3 parts of a length. Last Judgment tries to keep the pressure on second. Down at the rail, Independence Hall follows along in 4th with Tax in early 4th. Back to 5th goes Jesus' team. Then it's Mr. Freeze and Coastal Defense. Racing between them and Harper's First Ride. 1.5 lengths to Code of Honor. Then it's a gap of another 5 to Sleepy Eyes Todd. The 2 at the back are Math Wizard and Kiss Today Goodbye with half a mile left to race. The opening half mile was 46 seconds flat as they leave the backstretch and move on to the far turn. It's still Knicks Go the target. He leads by 1.5 lengths. Toward the rail, it's Independence Hall from between horses. Last Judgment begins to drop back. Tax is 3 wide. Then it's Jesus' team. A gap of 3 more to Code of Honor, who gets underway, passing Mr. Freeze and Coastal Defense. Sleepy Eyes Todd better than 10 lengths off the lead. Math Wizard and Kiss Today Goodbye are next with 1/4 mile left to go. Joel Rosario has not moved his hands, and Knicks Go continues to roll on the top end into the stretch drive on top by 3 with 1/8 mile more to get. Here's Jesus' team down the center trying to make a late impression with Independence Hall. Final 1/16 of a mile. It's all about Knicks Go. Knicks Go makes it 4 in a row. A Breeders' Cup, a Pegasus World Cup, and a slam dunk. He won by 2.5. Second was Jesus' team. Third was Independence Hall. Then it was Sleepy Eyes Todd and Code of Honor in 1:47 and 4. Number 4, Knicks Go first. Number 5, Jesus' team second. Number 3, Independence Hall third. Number 1, Sleepy Eyes Todd fourth. Number 10, Code of Honor ran fifth. 147 and 89 100 seconds. It's 4-5, 3-1-10. Knicks Go all the way. Ladies and gentlemen, now returning to the winner's circle, the official winner of the 2021 Pegasus World Cup, number 4, Knicks Go. Knicks Go, a 5-year-old Greer roan horse by Painter out of Cosmo's Buddy by Outflanker. He was bred in Maryland by Angie Moore and is owned by Korea Racing Authority. Brad Cox, the winning trainer, the winning jockey, Joel Rosario. Knicks Go stops the timer in 1:47 and 89 100 seconds. The official winner of the Pegasus World Cup, ladies and gentlemen, Knicks Go.
Superlatives to describe what he just did. A big congratulations to the Korea Racing Authority, Brad Cox and Joel Rosario for the trophy presentation of the beautiful Baccarat. It is the chairman and president of First, Belinda Stronach. Congratulations. June, if I could have a few words with you here. Junior, you could step up to the mic. Thanks so much. First and foremost, congratulations. How do you describe what we've witnessed from Nick Sko in his last 4 races?
Well, it's an outstanding performance. You know, appreciate all the teams for the Blackhawks, and then whoever involved in, with the Nick Sko from breeders. Breeders here. Everybody did a great job. Once again, the K-Nix team at the Korea Racing Authority, they pick out the right horse, and we're honored to be here to win the race, and we continue the race this year.
Congratulations once again, and he did just tell me, Nick Sko set to race on. So positive things there. It's Korea Racing Authority, Brad Cox, and Joel Rosario as Nick Sko takes the $3 million Grade 1 Pegasus World Cup.
Nick Sko returns $4.60 for the win wager, the Exacta $43, the Quinella $27.20, the trifecta worth $175.05. That is a 50-cent price. Superfecta $2,434 even, $243.40 for a dime. The high five got hit for $20,851.10. The late daily double 5 and 4, $19.80. Pick 3, $25.75. The pick 4, $613.20. All 5 in the late pick 5 worth $1,106.35. 4 out of 5 good for $12.20. In the Rainbow 6, all 6 required, multiple winning tickets sold. The numbers were 316754. The 20-cent return is $2,149.12. Carryover money, $266,566. Folks, that's significant because tomorrow will be a mandatory return of that money. The Rainbow 6 will be paid in full tomorrow. There is no single ticket winner provision on tomorrow's program. 11 races, and an outstanding 11 races it is, too, with